All right, so I'm gonna start here with our lab setup. I have 3 containers, or different 3 containers. The biggest thing about your container, you wanna make sure that your egg has room to expand for the hypotonic solution. That's our goal. We wanna make sure that our egg has room to expand. I did not mention earlier that in addition to like pancake syrup, condensed milk is another good substance that you could use in the hypertonic solution to try to make your egg shrink or your potato shrink. That's another option. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna have us do right now is get our potato ready. Make sure you have, make sure your parents aren't gonna care if you use a knife. And so mine's starting to grow. Hi, old potato. I'm just gonna maybe save that there to grow later. Ecology project. Okay, so what you need for your potato is you need 3 pieces that are as close to equal in size as possible. So what I'm gonna try to do with my potato is cut it into like a rectangle. And then from there, I'll cut out 3 pieces from the middle that are hopefully as close as possible to the same size. Doesn't have to be perfect, because nothing is. And again, because we're not like in a Pfizer lab making the vaccine doses. I'll just cook that up for breakfast later. Okay, so here's my block of potato. And basically to make it into the same size, you could cut it in half and then a half again. That'll make you 4 pieces. It's just a little easier than cutting it into like 3 equal pieces by looking. And if you want to get extra fancy, you could try to measure your potato block. So mine's about 2 inches. And so I am just going to cut mine in half and then in half again. So of the pieces that I have, I'm going to look for the 3 that are the most equal in size. I'm going to go with these 3. And if they're not exact, one way to save their size would be, for example, you can put them on a piece of paper and trace them. The paper will get wet, but I could put these on paper and then, label them container 1, container 2, container 3, starting size. And, if we were in a lab, we could potentially weigh them to get a mass. If you have a kitchen scale, one of those little scales, you could also do that. What I would recommend is just tracing one side of the potato. And then hopefully you'll have some blue or pen residue. Maybe if you did pencil, that's fine. Maybe poke one side so you know which side you traced, so that you can put the same size. You can like literally put it on the same piece of paper or right next to it when you're done to see if you can identify a change in size. You can also take a picture of your starting size. You could take a picture of yourself holding it or putting it, for example, on lined paper and seeing exactly how many lines it takes up. And so I'm going to let you guys be a little creative here. Decide how you're going to record the starting size of your potato. You could also, if we decide that this guy is close enough in size to our other potatoes, we can save this as our reference potato and use this as our starting size to compare them to at the end. We're just going to have to put it in plastic and refrigerate it so it doesn't dry and shrivel up in the air on its own. Okay, so now I have my potatoes ready. My eggs are here soaking in vinegar. And I'm going to get my solutions ready next so that I can start my potatoes all at the same time. I want to put them all in their cup all at the same time. So that's my next plan. I also want to record what I use for each container. So for my hypertonic container, container 1, my hypertonic container, I am going to use maple syrup. I'm going to use sugar-free just because I have a lot of it in my kitchen and I want to see if it works. And I'm going to record that. So in my first container, I'm just going to put, there's my sugar-free pancake syrup. You might also be able to use chocolate syrup or condensed milk, or again, you could like just measure out some sugar or some salt, as much as you can get dissolved in water, and use that as your substance. Oh no. Okay, so this is hopefully my hypertonic solution that is going to shrink my egg and my potato. Hopefully. And then in my, I might, you know what, if you have a way to label your container, you can do that. Otherwise, obviously you know which one has your syrup in it visually. But you can also do something where you put them on a piece of paper and you label the paper with the numbers so that you don't get mixed up between which is which. The next one for my hypotonic solution, my solution that I'm going to put in is water. Now, technically, if I use bottled water, distilled water, it might be 100% water. I'm going to use tap water. Which means it is going to have a little bit of stuff in it, you know, salts, minerals, it's hard water, you know, so it's not going to be 100% water, but hopefully it's a small enough percentage that it's still hypotonic to the egg. And then my isotonic solution in the middle, that's the one that I said I was going to put in. I'm going to do like a 1/4 cup. I'm going to do 20% sugar and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of sugar. And then I'm going to do a cup of water. This one, honestly, I'm also hypertonic. We will see how it goes. So I'm going to I put a 1/4 cup of sugar in there. Now I'm adding 4 1/4 cups of water, which is a cup. So there will be 5 1/4 cups of water in there. One of them will be sugar. 1 out of 5 is 20%. So 20% of the volume of this cup will be sugar. I would recommend maybe if you guys want to try a smaller percentage, like just do 1/8 of a cup of sugar. That might be closer to isotonic. You know, it is an experiment, so you are really just trying to figure this out on your own. So now I'm going to mix it up so that hopefully it's dissolved and we don't just have a pile of sugar at the bottom. I might put, I'm not sure if I'm going to put my potatoes and my eggs in the same container or not. Just in the interest of not having to make a second container. We'll see. So at this point, I have my eggs. I made 4 just in case something went wrong. So they're kind of grody. You don't have to rinse them off before you put them in the containers. If you do, you should do it to all of them and just quickly. So I think I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put them in. And I'm going to put them all in so you can see it's like smushy. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm going to take these eggs and as close as possible, I want to start them at the same time. It doesn't have to be exact again because it's with the difference of 1 second here or there. Oh, that one looks like zebra striped. Interesting. I used brown eggs. That's why my water is like especially gross. And then I'm just going to put them each in their cup, start the timer, and we'll see how it goes. So egg, egg, egg. Beautiful. And I am going to put my potatoes in the same container. So I'm going to go potato, 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 papa. And now we're going to let it sit. And the longer you let it sit, the more extreme the change will be. So let's see if we can get it to focus here. So we're just going to let it sit, and then I'll come back later and look at what happened. And then you guys can also, ideally, you'll turn in pictures before and after, or of your setup if you can make them. If you want to make videos of yourself showing your results, that'd be awesome. But at a minimum, a written kind of a data collection paper like I have here, where you say what were the 3 solutions you used. So this one was a 1/4 cup sugar, 1 cup water. Any notes about your setup, anything that was different. So honestly, for mine, I had a little bit different volumes of solution, not equal volumes of solution. My start time, well, now it's 6:11 in the morning. Hi, I procrastinated last night, don't judge. So 6:10 a.m. And then our stop time, we're going to give it a couple hours and see what happens and record some observations. And this is why sometimes scientists have waterproof paper to use. I actually have some that I should have used, but that's okay. So I'm going to cover this up because it smells, and we're just going to let this sit.